python. I said, I don't have any of these. So I went to court and saw the judge, told him of my plea. I see you had some albums, son. Do you have any of these? Oh my God, do you have any Zeppelin albums? Rush or Bad Company? Do you have any Zeppelin albums? Your Honor, I don't have any of these. Guilty as charged.
Hey, everybody, welcome. Here we go. It's that time again. Matt Connarton Unleashed. And we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. Of course, you can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, and merch, etc., etc. Today is Thursday, January 12, 2022. So nice to have you all with me on this fine day. It's actually here in Manchester. It's kind of wintry out, wintry. It's but then I guess overnight it's supposed to get really warm, and tomorrow it's going to be. I saw a high of 54 degrees tomorrow. So whatever we have now will just melt. So no big deal, which is fine. We are, and I don't want to jinx it, but we are having overall a pretty easy winter here in Manchester, New Hampshire. And not everyone is so lucky. You know what? It's ironic in a way that we're having a pretty easy winter here overall. And yet you look at California, and California is having, they're getting like an entire decade's worth of rain all at once. So, but I would say here we are quite fortunate. We've had very little snow, and we've had a few cold days, but we've had some warm days too. So, exciting times here. I hope it holds. I mean, we're almost midway through January, and we have yet to have a major blizzard this winter, and I like it. But that's not all, my friends. That's not all. I am joined in studio by, let me hit the music and you'll see.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Oh, that's right. Gonzo is here.
Hey, how are you?
It's been a while. You all right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
good.
I was doing my Kyle.
Oh, that was your Kyle Clayton?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Back at the desk.
That's a pretty good impression.
Bad, except I'm in the wrong seat.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, normally Kyle wouldn't be sitting here.
Really? I thought he always sat at the news desk.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, what happened there?
No.
He doesn't sit at the news desk anymore?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Oh. Well, he, I guess what is it, kind of first come, first serve?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And he like hot dogs in here.
Yes. Now, and of course, this morning, you were here for that this morning, right?
No, I was not.
Oh, you were not? Were you listening?
I was listening, yeah.
So
it's funny.
I did not get to hear it live.
Ron took it in.
Oh, he did. Okay, because I saw something in the chat room. Melanie said something in the chat that made it sound like Ron did not fulfill his obligation.
No. No, I don't know how to put this without being, uncensored, but Ron received a hot dog in his body.
Yes. Well, let's clarify what that means right away.
Yeah. Belly button.
So, of course, so this morning, of course, today was the big squad dog event, and which is very exciting. Actually, I was here yesterday when Mary came and dropped off the what do you call that? It's not an oven. It's you cook the dogs in them. A steamer? Is that what it is? A steamer?
That thing is a legendary item right there.
What do you mean?
Like, we're in the presence of, like, that thing has been, let's just say, like, it's probably worth upwards of $500,000, I'd say.
What?
Yeah, that's the official hot dog maker for the MPD.
For the Manchester Police Department?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, and we're in charge of it right now.
Wow. Wow.
But Jeff Nyan's staring me down right now with his business card.
Right,
which is intimidating.
Reminding you not to steal the $500,000
I would not do that.
Steamer or hot dog maker.
No, I like hot dogs. I like the police. I like everyone.
So this morning was a very nice event.
I wish I could have made it, but
Yeah, Melanie said in the chat, she said false promises were made.
Oh, I don't know what you were looking for, Mel.
Yeah, I wonder now. Maybe she was looking for something else. So the thing this morning was Ron had agreed to see how long he could hold a hot dog in his belly button. Is that correct?
So I only I don't know what the agreement was. But it went in. And I believe Mary was the tongue holder.
Oh, lucky girl.
Yeah. And I guess she had multiple hot dog recipients this morning.
Oh, really? So several people got hot dogs in their belly buttons?
From Mary.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, Mary does that,
But she uses the tongs. She's not actually
I think there was no hands involved. Yeah, it was definitely protected and safe.
Good. Yeah,
safe for sure.
You got to be safe doing that. Absolutely.
Yeah. The key to a hot dog is the casing, I believe.
The key is the casing?
I would say so. Like
in terms of how well it stays in a belly button?
Well, yeah, that and snap. Like when you're biting into it, you kind of want that automatopoeia.
I kind of don't want that. Actually, when I bite into a hot dog, yeah.
Well, it's all about preference.
But I'm super picky about hot dogs.
I make my own casings at home, so.
You make your own casings?
Hot dog casings.
How does that work?
And sausage casings.
What? How do you do that? Are you serious?
No.
I'm completely ignorant about cooking.
Right, but like how gross that would be to just boil up casings all day.
That does sound disgusting, yes.
But yeah, Ron's a trooper, he's got the goods, I mean. There was that time I put my gauzy finger inside of his belly button.
Inside his belly button, yes.
And
again, we want to be very clear.
Right. And today was like a repeat performance, but even more.
So how long?
Deeper, I guess.
Yeah. So how long was the hot dog in Ron's belly button?
Oh, time or distance?
Oh, time.
Okay. I believe it was like a thumb length, and I believe it was. I don't know, 10 seconds maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. So, that's it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I had it on mute because I was in the middle of something, but I had to see it. I just had to see it.
Right.
Yeah, so I saw it, and there was really no context. I just saw Mary, putting the hot dog inside of his belly button.
Sure.
And then I guess there were multiples. Like Mary was doing her rounds.
Uh-huh. Well, that's
like in the 80s.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, very nice. So, I was talking with I spoke with Peter last night. He was around and he popped in after my show and we chatted for a bit. And I said to him, what if the hot dog doesn't fit in the belly button? Because belly buttons aren't that big. How do you actually fit? I mean, I don't mean lengthwise, you're going to fit the whole thing in, but how do you even fit the hot dog into the belly button to where it'll stay there? Because it sounded to me like the way it was presented was they're just going to see how long he can hold the hot dog in his belly button.
So from my experience, similar scenarios. A nice like a steamed hot dog, for example, would be better than like a char grilled hot dog. So you kind of want a little condensation, if you will.
Sure.
Try to keep this clean.
Yes.
But you want a little bit of helping agent. So that'll get it through the threshold, and then it's all about Mary at that point. Technique, rhythm, and it depends on the girth of the dog. Let's be honest. So I think Mary is experienced and very well planned for this, and Ron is like a haul away. So
Okay.
That wasn't shocking to see that. What was shocking was to see Will Vegas actually take it from Mary as well.
Okay, and so he also took a turn holding the hot dog in his belly button.
He did. He was next in line.
Okay.
Sloppy seconds, I believe it's called.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
No sauerkraut. Yeah. Which is a shame. Peter ate 4 hot dogs, which is impressive.
Yes.
Because last hot dog day, I had 4 hot dogs, and in the morning, you're not used to having hot dogs.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah,
breakfast.
it's not really a breakfast food. Yeah.
It can be. I don't believe in labels, but
Sure.
at the same time, your body's not acclimated to a hot dog in the morning. Never mind 4.
Right. Yeah.
So,
of course.
I can see that going, not so great.
Right. Wow. But it sounds like it was a rousing success overall.
It was arousing, and success. Yeah, totally. Anytime you can do 2 things. First of all, anytime you can get Mary and Ron in the same room is a win. Like, Ron would have done anything.
Yeah.
Anything. If Mary made him bark, he would have barked. He would have done anything that she has. So that's good. That's good for Ron. He got his, he already made his yearly wish come true for the year. It's already only January.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's good. And anytime you can bring awareness to the, police department or anything, because that's what it really comes down to, because today was a demonstration. It was just a demonstration. It wasn't like anything official, but
a demonstration of what?
The squad dog machine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant some sort of like they were demonstrating something that like maybe maybe they handcuffed everybody and then did the hot dogs and.
No. Ron was a willing, consensual participant. Yeah, there was nothing like that.
Yeah.
There was no what's the word I'm looking for? Something lenius. There's no malicious activity.
Malicious. Is
Something
malicious?
like
Is that what you're? Yeah.
There's a word that starts with an N. I can't. Remember. I'm not good at words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, very exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
It is exciting, and then everyone survived.
Yeah. Good.
And Ron's the real winner.
I don't know. Sounds to me like Mary's the real winner.
Well, Mary,
she got to hold the tongs.
Mary, I mean, I would like her to be more selective with her, partners, if you will. But if you're just gonna willy nilly, put hot dogs in people's belly buttons, there's a name for that. I'm not gonna use it.
Well, very good. I think the name is Willy Nilly.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, outstanding. I'm glad it was a successful morning, and well, it's too bad you couldn't be a part of it. Although then again, it was Thursday, so you're not here on Thursdays typically.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna try to come, but the thing is, I couldn't get someone to watch my kids, so I had rather than bringing them in and seeing what they can't unsee.
Right.
I figured I'd keep them home.
I think that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
I think it would be confusing to a child, and it might be
right. And
the Mary with the tongs and the hot dog and Ron's belly button.
Stay away from my kid, Mary.
Yeah, well,
he's 3,
or at least keep the tongs away.
Yeah, just in everything.
Yeah. Nah, that's understandable.
Yeah. No kids in the.
You're a good dad.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I do my best.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, I could do better. We could all do better at everything.
Right.
Well, we can.
Oh, by the way, Rocky is curious what's in your cup because it looks like Looks like, well, it's yellowish. What is in your cup? It does look like.
It's iced tea.
Oh, okay, all right, good.
I like it neat. Like I don't like it too icy. Not in the cold anyway. Like
Oh,
a
yeah.
nice warm tea.
Oh, I know. It's supposed to get warm though. It's supposed to be 54 tomorrow.
No way.
Yeah, way.
No, it makes no sense.
Yeah, I know. All this is going to melt. We're having a nice, easy winter. It's nice.
Yeah,
Hope it holds up.
I think it might not.
Sometimes it does. Do you remember that
We're
winter?
going to March, unfortunately, though.
Remember that winter we had about 5 or 6 years ago where winter just literally never showed up? Do you remember that?
I do. And
It snowed a grand total of, I remember vividly, I even remember details. It snowed a grand total of 3 times that entire winter. 2 of those, we got only an inch or 2 of snow. And the worst of the 3, I think we got 5 inches. And that was it. That was all the snow. It never really got cold. It was amazing.
But then, what was summer like? Was it amazing too?
I don't remember.
Because there's no such thing as a free lunch, Matt.
I know.
You know, payback, so you know what.
So we had that extremely easy winter. And then the next winter was also easy all the way through January and February. In fact, I remember on February 28th of that winter, I remember walking around outside. I got a t-shirt, no jacket, 60 degrees, beautiful. And I remember thinking, wow, second nice, easy winter in a row. I could get used to this. But I hadn't looked at the forecast. So the next day, March showed up. And March just kicked us all in the groin every day for the entire month of March. And we literally got all of winter in March, all at once. It was the worst March ever.
I remember that. And it really did. It really does suck when that happens.
It was incredible. I'd never seen anything like that.
Going by your theory, which I remember well, once you get into March, you're good.
Right. I always say I adopted that from my father, who always said that he thinks of March 1st as the first day of spring, because January and February is when you get the worst weather. And once you get to March, even if it's still cold and snowy, who cares? You know that any day now it's going to warm up. So just call March 1st spring. So I've also always looked at it that way. To me, March 1st is the first day of spring.
Yeah,
but not that year.
And if you watch baseball, pitchers and catchers, they go to spring training in March. I think March 1st-ish.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of like when you see spring training going on in the it's nice. It's a nice let's do this.
Yeah.
And when that first day comes and the snow's melting, you get that smell in the air. People are walking their dogs. It's just the best.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
It is the best. And then it hits you with another snowstorm.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm predicting we won't really have spring until probably mid-March. I think we're going to get something. We have to.
Well, but some years we don't. Well, one year we didn't.
One year.
There was that one year where we got, winter was just not here. It was amazing. And I like that. I like that the winters have gotten easier. They're definitely easier now than when I was a kid, but at the same time, but it also frightens me.
Well, sure, we all got depressed at the same time, though. Because this is a very depressing time of year for me and everyone. I don't really know many people that are just on the moon right now, Mm-hmm. It's kind of like you put your head down and you grind through it, and you're like, why do I live here? But you love it here, so you stay here. And, the weather can really screw with people's heads.
Yeah. Skiers seem to like winter a lot, and snowboarders, but then again, when there's not much snow, I don't think it's probably as much fun for them.
Right, I think they're lying.
They're lying to themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't imagine liking anything in the winter.
Yeah, I'm with you. Although I don't mind it as much as I used to, but part of that, again, I think is the winter's getting easier. And also, too, this is an odd thing. As I get older, the cold seems to bother me less, which I think is the exact opposite of how that's supposed to work. I always hear people say that as they get older, they're more bothered by the cold. I seem to mind it. I'll never like the cold. I don't like cold weather. I'd much rather it be 90 degrees than 20 degrees. The heat doesn't bother me at all. But for some reason, the cold bothers me less. I don't know what that is.
Well, that was contradictory of what you said, but you said the cold doesn't bother you and the heat doesn't bother you, so you're just happy all the time. But
Except I'm not, though.
Right.
Can't win.
So what I would say, a 95 degree day is just as crappy as a 22 degree day. But I think you're right. Like the winter, at least, like I'm out there painting all the time. So I get acclimated. Like I can handle this, and I run hot as it is. Mm-hmm. So I'm like always out there in the cold. But what that does is that when you get that 50, like 55, say you get a 63-degree day, you know?
Yeah.
You're just like, wow, this is great. And like, it's basically summer, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people probably go to the beach. I imagine people go to the beach.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't go to the beach in the summer either.
No, I don't. Yeah,
I used to.
I don't go to the beach.
My
It was
single days.
fun when I was a kid. It's not as an adult. It's
Well,
like
it's fun
I
when
get I get bored. I have to be doing something. I can't just like hang out at the beach.
Right. You have to drink and you have to go to the bars. And it's good
Well, to
for
me, it's
when
sad,
you're in your 20s and you're single, Hampton Beach is perfect.
Yeah, I get.
Perfect.
I never even then. But I have to be like doing something.
Well, you don't play beach sports like
No.
paddleball and throw the ball around and frolic in the ocean?
Oh, throwing the ball around and frolicking in the ocean is fine. Yeah, that's fine. But you can only do that for so long,
Yeah.
you know. And then it's like, I need to do something productive, you know.
What productive?
It's how I'm wired, though. I'm strange.
You can't do much productive. Well, you can build a sandcastle.
That's not productive. That's a colossal waste of time. That's
Yeah.
literally the opposite of productive. Building a sandcastle. Like there's literally nothing remotely productive about it, Gonzo.
Oh, I disagree.
It's totally the opposite. Like if you were like it's an antonym. Like if you were to ask an English professor what's the opposite of productive, they would say a sandcastle.
See, it depends on the professor. Because if I'm the professor, I'm going to say building a sand alligator while people walk by and you give them joy, nothing like it.
Yeah, giving people joy is nice.
Yeah, get the perfect rocks for the eyes.
But how do you know that it's genuine joy and they're not just humoring you when they're actually thinking, oh, look at that guy, he's wasting his time.
They do that.
He's
but
the opposite of productive.
you can tell by their face whether they're like patronizing you or not.
Can you, though?
I think so because
Even at the beach? I mean, people get sunburned and then their faces are weird.
it does. Like you get this a lot. Like the couple will walk by and like the husband will be like, "Watch out, honey," and she'll like just whoa, like barely sidestep the alligator that you're working on all day long. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're in a contest, like at camp once. It was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I got screwed over, made a nice alligator, and because I'm an adult, they didn't give me the prize. They gave it to these two kids who made this crappy little castle scene, and it wasn't even good. It didn't even have a moat, Matt. There was no moat.
Well, they totally screwed you over.
Yeah, mine wasn't life-size to scale alligator
Wow.
with toenails.
Yeah.
Yeah, so whatever.
You deserve to win. Frankly, you were robbed. But see, that's the other thing. Not only is it unproductive, but
That
it just
sucked.
opens it up to
really
the
sucked.
potential for a world of heartache and heartbreak and disappointment.
I didn't like talking about it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't like hearing about it. It makes me sad. And it's getting dark at the same time.
It's like right up there when my dad passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Like same awfulness.
Yeah. Same feeling of,
Yeah.
your dad, the sand alligator or whatever it was.
I like to think my alligator, which I called Allie Ray Smith, because it was, she was in the Olympics at the time.
Sure.
I was trying to keep it, relevant.
Yes.
I like to think that Allie Ray Smith, the alligator, is up in heaven with my dad.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
It's the only solace I have with that.
Uh-huh.
Because these stupid kids, why, they didn't even try, Matt. Like, I was there for hours, dude. I got excited. I was like, we're going to do it. We're going to build a life-size to scale alligator.
Did you kick sand in their faces?
No, I just walked away in disgust.
Uh-huh.
And I might have said, this is crap.
Yeah.
But,
I would have.
yeah, I
And
would.
then I would have kicked sand in their faces. I'm vindictive, though.
But I'm saying, like, at the beach, if you're bored, these are things you can do.
Yeah.
It sounds like you don't like the beach.
Yeah, not a big fan.
Can't imagine you're a beach guy. Man.
And I burn easily, and I don't
Yeah.
want skin cancer.
Yeah.
And there's so much that can go
You're
wrong.
just drinking energy drinks all day in the sun.
And that's dehydrating.
Yeah. You're like, I guess I'll go in. You go up to your ankles. You're like, screw this. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Parked way over on B Street.
I liked, at Hampton, yeah. I liked going to the beach when I was a kid, although my dad, and he'll, he listens, he'll remember this. My dad used to worry me a little bit because he liked to swim. He'd say, it's time for my dip. And he'd go way out there.
He'd say, time for my dip?
No, take a dip. No,
Okay.
no, not time for my. No, he didn't do chewing tobacco. Ron is on the line. Hi, Ron.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Gonzo. Hi, Matt.
Hey, Ron.
Hello.
Hey, I was looking at the news, reading the newspaper about a half an hour ago, and they said Jeff Beck died. Did you know that?
Yes, we mentioned that on the show yesterday, actually. Jeff Beck, at the age of 78, passing away.
Oh, see, I missed it. Yeah, I just caught it today, and I was like, oh, wow, that's sad.
That is sad, but now he's in heaven with Gonzo's dad and the
Alligator.
And the alligator.
Yeah.
Jamming with the alligator. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Ron can clarify
Well,
what
that was
happened.
that was it. Other than the fact that one more thing, it's kind of useless info, but I saw in the newspaper the other day some homeless guy robbed a liquor store on Elm Street of $1,000 worth of booze.
Oh,
So
wow.
Someone's having a good time.
Oh, that's not good. Ron, how did it go this morning?
Yeah.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah. Good.
Does it still smell like hot dogs when you get in there?
No, everyone was speculating that it was going to. I saw comments in the chat room, and I heard Peter say something about it on the morning show, but I can't smell. Of course, I'm always
I can,
with my sinuses. I miss a lot. Can you smell? Can you smell anything?
I can smell belly buttons.
Oh yeah. You smell Ron's belly
Oh,
button?
you heard about that.
But I don't smell any hot dogs. No.
So, Ron,
Matt was saying it took quite a few likes. I guess last I heard was 900. It ranged somewhere around there. So it kind of went viral.
Ron, I have a question, which we were discussing earlier. To get maximum, I don't want to use the P word, but maximum insertion into the belly button, was there condensation on the steamed dog? Was that the trick, or did Mary use her own devices to do that?
No, that was condensation. That's correct. I think it was condensation for me, but when Will Vegas did it, it was actually some kind of oily grease leakage.
Oh, he brought his own mechanic oil.
Oh,
That's smart.
No, and Steve Light got into it too, so it was a three-way.
wow.
Wow, but you were first, right?
Yeah, and I didn't want to do it. You know how Peter can just push him.
Oh, stop
I
it!
gave in, but I was all bent. I was all hell bent on refusing to and saying no. But the cycle was there.
Ron, cut it out. We know you wanted to. You're just being coy.
Are you saying that when you saw Mary approach you with the
It
hot
was a
dog?
good fun show, though.
Ron,
Wish you were there, Gonzo. I wish you both could have been there. Good fun show.
Ron, real quick.
Katie's dad was there, and Katie, and a little jamming going on, and all around. And Mary was there, whipping out hot dogs and squirting mustard or getting mustard all over Peter.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Ron,
Yeah, she put too much in one of the buns.
Oh,
And
easy
next
Jamie.
thing you know,
I know.
he touched it, and like poison ivy just spread.
Ron, when Mary approached you with the hot dog, did your belly button create its own condensation, if you will?
I'd have to say no, but
Oh, okay. So you
know.
okay?
Now, did you have
brought a
to?
lot of laughter, that's for sure.
Did you have to eat the hot dogs after?
No, she threw them away. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, she threw them away. Peter actually reneged, because if you listen to it on the retape, he says, "Ron, if you do it, I'll do it with the other end of the hot dog, and we can do a hot dog belly thing."
Like
Yeah.
Lady in
He
the
reneged
Tramp.
afterwards. He said, "Oh no, it's my show. I can do what I want."
Yeah.
Imagine that, a Lady in the Tramp situation.
Yes.
That's what
belly
they
buttons.
said. That got brought up. The Lady and the Tramp. I never watched the show, so I
Beautiful.
don't know anything about it.
Wow.
If you know Peter very well, he's not very much of a belly button person.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to wrap this up, but wanted to say hey, and little did I know that I missed it. Every now and then I miss stuff on your show. I kind of like get something going on or whatever, so I missed it. But I'm all ears for the rest of the show, and good to see you guys.
All right, Ron, we appreciate the call. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. By the way, in a few minutes, when he's ready, we're going to be getting a call from our friend Erich Pilcher from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Do you do an impression of Erich? I can't remember if you do or not, Erich Pilcher.
For WMNH and Matt Connarton Unleashed, I'm working on it.
It's not bad. It's not bad. You're getting there.
Yeah. Now, I'm sorry. I might be one of the 1 or 2 viewers on, the jealous one.
Uh-huh.
The way...
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just gotta cut it off at Erich Pilcher. No comma.
Yeah. No, I understand.
I don't know. The guy has not much going for him, but I guess sometimes he makes me laugh. I don't know. The jealous one. I mean.
The Erich.
The audacity of what he says is just wow.
I know he doesn't. Well, he does an Erich Pilcher impression.
Yeah. I know.
Erich Pilcher. But so Erich Pilcher is going to be calling us now. We're going to talk a bit about this concept of sports washing that the Saudi Arabians do with these, like the golf tours and whatnot. News broke a couple nights ago that they were actually purchasing WWE, and now it looks like that's maybe not happening after all. But it had us very alarmed. Now, for anyone, but I just want to say before Erich calls, so for anyone, though, who hears me mention that, who might think, oh, Erich's going to call and they're going to talk about wrestling, it's not really a conversation about wrestling. It's about larger issues and in terms of the Saudi Arabians and what they do. And, obviously they've gotten involved in, buying and running sporting events, and wrestling, of course, is not an actual professional wrestling, not an actual sport. It's scripted entertainment, but because of the nature of the scripted entertainment, it kind of falls into that category of sports washing, which is what the Saudi Arabians have been doing.
No, golf would be the one that's been like they offered Tiger Woods like $50 million and he still turned it down. To his credit. Mm-hmm. I bet they would offer him, $100 million. And I think there's nothing that Tiger would take, because if he did, it would really kind of, he's had enough backlash in his life, and I don't think would really, that'd be like selling out, big time. And he's got enough money where he doesn't have to. But they are buying up some big time names, and they're not even real PGA tournaments. They're just like exhibition tournaments.
Oh, Erich is on the line, in fact. Hello.
Good afternoon, Matt. Good afternoon, Gonzo. Gonzo, I prefer your impersonation of me over the Erich Pilcher impersonation.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
We'll call it certain dramatic liberties are taken with the Erich Pilcher impersonation that are not true.
Right. Understood.
Of course.
Yes.
But FM radio and this pesky FCC law prohibits me from going any further.
Yeah. No, well, we understand. We understand. But it's been quite a roller coaster here with this WWE sale thing. And last I knew, the Saudis may not be buying it after all, or they may very well be buying it, and it's just going to take a while.
Well, here's the thing is, I do think they're the front runners, and the prime reason for that being is it enhances the PIF profile. That's the Saudi organization that is buying up all these groups and paying the golfers. And
PIF is Public Investment Fund.
Yes. That's where we're at on that. And I know you said previously to me calling, we're not going to talk a lot about wrestling, and we're not. But Uncle Dave, anyone who knows pro wrestling knows who Uncle Dave is.
Yes.
Dave Meltzer of wrestling. I forget what he writes for. Wrestling Observer.
Yes.
The Observer has said that it was smoke, but where there's smoke, there's fire. Certainly.
Yeah.
So,
because it's going to take time. If the Saudis are intending to buy WWE, it's going to take a little bit of time. It's not like it's something that just happens overnight, which is part of what was so shocking about when the news broke. It was like, what, already? How could that have happened so quickly?
Well, I actually did research into it because I was looking into doing a blog, and what I have found is that even if there is an agreement for business to be sold, there has to be an intent to buy filed with the FTC. And because WWE is a publicly traded company, the SEC would have to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter who buys it, you're 100% right, Matt. It's not open and shut.
Yeah.
The trickier part is if the PIF does buy it, they can no longer be a publicly traded company.
Right. But isn't that part
They would
of...
have to become...
I was just going to say, isn't that part of why, though, it might be an advantage for Vince to take the company private, Vince McMahon, because he wants these SEC investigations to go away, right?
Well, they don't go away just because you go private.
Yeah.
The punishment is lessened, but they don't go away because you still did the activity when you were a publicly traded company.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Wolf of Wall Street?
Yes. Have you seen that, Gonzo?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have.
Yeah.
Prime example is when they gave for the opportunity to leave Stratton Oakmont.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically say you will avoid jail time, you'll pay a fine, and you're banned from security sales, basically.
Yeah.
That's what would more than likely happen to Vince. Not on that scale.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly. It wouldn't be Vince being told you're banned from securities, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
It would probably be you're going to pay a hefty fine, and you're going to have to pay, and a percentage of that is going to go to the shareholders.
Right.
What's confusing to me is Saudi is buying golfers to go to Saudi Arabia to play golf there.
Not necessarily. They're paying them to compete in their golf tour. The tour actually had events in the United States.
Oh,
this
okay.
year.
That's interesting. So I was like, what are they going to do? Are they going to wrestle in America? Because that's where the profit is. All the fans are, in America. So
that is where another issue comes into play. WWE has many of their athletes, and I'll call them athletes because you do have to have athletic ability to do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Many of their athletes are a part of the LGBTQ, if I'm saying that correctly, community, and or heavy supporters of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to mesh well with Saudi Arabia.
Right.
For obvious reasons. Secondly, there are some people that are very pro-Palestine that are on the WWE roster and have been very outspoken about being pro-Palestine. That also is not going to mesh well with the Saudi Arabian government.
Right.
So there's a lot of top stars that when WWE hosts these events in Saudi Arabia have said, we're not going over there.
Right.
So I think that's one of the reasons that the sale just kind of evaporated. The second reason is Vince was hit with a class action lawsuit. It is very, very, very hard to sell your company when you have a possible class action lawsuit against you.
What's the lawsuit about?
It's a major shareholder that is saying that Vince McMahon, by coming back, devalued the stock.
Yeah.
And basically forced himself back in. He did a hostile takeover, essentially, is what the accusation is.
Yeah.
Which, from the looks of it, he basically said that he would not renegotiate the TV rights unless he was voted back as chairman of the board.
Yeah, effectively holding the company hostage in that way.
Yes. So this case does have a lot of merit. And if the courts say this is a class action suit, then it's big time trouble for WWE being sold.
Yeah. So why is it class action? It's one shareholder, but on behalf of the shareholders. Is that how that works?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and because of the fact that Vince's plan could have cost them, I could be wrong, I believe it's over X amount of dollars. If the person's actions could have cost the shareholders X amount of money, then it can become a class action suit. I could be wrong on that.
Okay.
I'm not too familiar with the legalese behind class action lawsuits.
Yeah.
But that's my basic understanding of it.
Well, I would think, too, as far as the TV rights, and for those who don't know, when we talk about that, we're talking about all the money they get for, they have a show on USA Network, which is owned by NBC Universal. They have a show on Fox. They've got anyway, that's where
the streaming service on Peacock.
Yeah, I mean that's where the bulk of their money comes from, and they depend on that. They would not. That company would not survive without all the money they get for rights fees from those networks. And actually, they're very lucky too, because these huge deals that they signed the last time. They signed, and of course, it's going to be coming up time to renegotiate those for another 5 years, I think. Those deals, they were very lucky to have those already in place when the pandemic hit, because if they didn't have those television deals and that money coming in, without that, I think the pandemic would have been the end of that company, or at least they would have had to close temporarily. So that kept them afloat.
Absolutely. Look at what it did to Ring of Honor.
Oh, yeah.
It destroyed Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
It almost destroyed Bellator Fighting Championships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So absolutely agree. And, it's in a way, if we go back, and I might be going way too deep into the woods here, and if I am, I'm sorry. When Eric Bischoff was negotiating buying WCW, basically AOL Time Warner said, we'll give you the library, we'll give you the contracts, we're not going to give you airtime.
Right. All of a sudden they had no television network to be on.
Yeah. So basically for Eric Bischoff, it was worthless.
Yep.
Because he didn't have the TV contracts.
Yeah.
But for Vince, that library and those contracts were paramount.
Yes.
So TV in any sports deal, it doesn't matter, is the pinnacle.
Mm-hmm.
That's the end, the beginning and the end, the alpha and the omega. If you don't have a TV deal, you don't have a sports organization.
Yeah, but that poses another huge risk, though. If they do in fact sell the company to the Saudis, and then these companies like NBC Universal and Fox, if they run away from, they might say, well, we don't want, if this is owned by the Saudis now, we don't want anything to do with this. Right. And then that's the end of their TV deals domestically. And then what happens?
I think that's why Vince wants to come back and negotiate the TV deal prior to selling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I firmly believe, and I haven't read anything that would lead me to believe otherwise, a deal was in place for the PIF to buy WWE.
Yeah.
I 100% believe that. What happened is one of three things. The two things I covered, or someone that didn't want the deal to happen leaked it.
Mm-hmm. That could be.
That deep sixed it.
That could be, yeah.
Because Matt, again, you're 100% right. NBC Universal isn't going to be stood up at the altar and trying to purchase WWE and then be undercut by the PIF.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep in mind, they have a beef with the PIF right now, and a legitimate one. NBC broadcasts a lot of golf. The PIF has taken a lot of big-name golfers.
Ah.
That lessens the money NBC can make off golf.
I did not realize that. I didn't think of that. Interesting.
So, yeah, those negotiations probably would not happen.
Yeah.
But then you would get into another convoluted argument of who really owns that vast library? Who controls the WWE network? It's housed with NBC. But what was the wording of the deal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean...
So that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, because WWE still owns all the content as far as I'm aware, but it's sort of like they're leasing it to NBC for
right,
Peacock.
Because they failed at housing the network.
Yeah.
To me, when
they couldn't run it on their own. They need NBC for the servers, for the technology, and all of that. In a perfect world, for me, it would be Comcast that buys it.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. Yeah, that makes the most sense. What were you going to say?
They're a cable distributor. They can push it out, and they could house the WWE network.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe bring back some of these premium events to pay-per-view.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. What were you going to say, Gonzo?
I was going to say, like, to me, McMahon doesn't really care about the legacy of what he built up if he sells it to Saudi Arabia in a way, because it's going to be lost. It's going to become a controversy. It might go to nothing. Like, enough people get behind this, he doesn't care. You think he'd want to hand it off to someone that's going to keep it going? Like, his dad built up wrestling and gave it to him, and now he's just going to sell it to the Saudi Arabian. Like, it seems kind of disrespectful. It seems disrespectful to what he'd rather see it burn than thrive.
You would think he'd want to keep it in the family. Leave it the way it is now, where Steph
especially
was
how he got it,
co-CEO,
which is more important. Like, how he was the benefactor from his dad. You think he would want to keep the ball rolling?
There's some interesting stories about that. Actually, there's some different versions of the story. I'm not sure what the truth is, but there's
it's a family business.
But there
was a special. Sorry to interrupt you two. There was a special on Vice called "The 9 Lives of Vince McMahon."
Yeah.
That talks about how he got the company from his father, and it wasn't underhanded, but it was kind of, he snuck in the back door.
Well, that's wrestling,
Yeah. That's
he
true.
essentially bought the time slots his father's wrestling aired on in New York.
Yeah.
My point being,
so it's kind of like how Robert Kraft gained ownership of the Patriots in a way.
But Eric,
Kraft he essentially bought the parking lot that Foxborough Stadium was on, and told the owners that, hey, you're going to pay me this month for the parking lot or you can't use it. Well, the owners were going on bankruptcy because they didn't know how to run a pro sports organization, and they're not really going to have home games without a parking lot, so they had to sell, and lo and behold, here comes Robert Kraft.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, I actually learned that in a book called The Legacy.
Huh.
That covers from when Robert Kraft became a season ticket holder as a fan of the Patriots to Tom Brady leaving the Patriots.
Oh, wow.
You got to hand it to him,
Yeah, it's a great book. If you're even a basic fan of the New England Patriots, I cannot suggest enough reading it.
I'm not a fan at all. I don't even like football, and yet I have to tell you that does sound interesting to me.
But Eric,
Yeah, and I'm forgetting a lot of minor points there,
Yeah.
but broad strokes, that's how he did it.
Huh.
And that's how Vince got the company from his dad.
Yeah.
but Eric, so wouldn't you
He found the most valuable asset and purchased it.
wouldn't you agree that Vince McMahon, the current owner of, he grew up as a child in a wrestling home. He was a product of wrestling, and it's a family business, and he has family members in the business. For him to give it must really burn Shane O'Mac and Stephanie's behind to see that happen, I would think, anyway.
Well,
Because it is a family business.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Regardless
That's a
of
very
what he
good
did
point.
to his dad, it's still, he grew up in a wrestling,
Right.
it was that love of wrestling
Shane-
from his dad.
Yeah.
Shane doesn't have anything to do with the business anymore. Him and Vince had a business falling out.
Yeah.
Shane, from what I understand, doesn't even care. He got his money already from selling his stocks off.
We did that Hell in a Cell
And
elbow.
I believe he owns minor shares still.
That was amazing.
Which he would make money hand over fist if the company sold.
Right. That's true.
Same with Stephanie.
They all stand to make a huge payday if the company does sell.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay,
But the
so they
problem
don't care,
is,
yeah.
and I told Matt this in Messenger, it's always been the problem with Vince. His ego trumps everything.
Mm-hmm.
Vince could not stand to sit there and see this company be successful without him.
Okay.
They just had their first $1 billion year in 2022. A majority of that was without Vince McMahon.
Right.
It's interesting because a
And-
lot of people want to make sure it's left in the right hands when they pass away.
Mm-hmm.
Their business, their
It was.
legacy.
Yeah.
But he just wants it
There
to
were
implode.
talks that they could make up to $2 billion this year.
Wow.
And that's what it is with Vince, is its ego.
Uh-huh. Wow.
You always, and it's sad, I told Matt this when we were talking about this in Messenger. He truly has become the character he plays on TV, Mr. McMahon.
Yeah. Yeah, it does seem that way, but he also stands to I guess his payday if the company sold. Well, so what
Who
I've
cares,
read
though? Okay. He's rich, right? Let's
Yeah.
agree he's rich.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's the big deal? Like, he's taking all he has is his legacy now. Why not keep it
Yeah.
in America? Like, it's an American sport, is it not? Basically, like,
Well, it's big in other parts of the world,
but it's
but
grassroots.
WWE is
The sport of pro wrestling was born in America, correct?
I guess.
Well, it really it came from shoot fighting, which really kind of came from the Greco-Roman Olympics.
Or the entertainment of fake, entertainment, whatever.
Well, that came from that's the American part of it. Yes,
right, and that's what it is.
I don't think he cares about where it goes. He's going to sell it to the highest bidder.
Well, that's what it comes down to.
He
then, I
doesn't
guess.
care if it comes from blood money, which it will if it's the PIF. Keep in mind that the PIF actually sat there and said, we are going to arrest members of our soccer team for losing at the World Cup.
Good.
good.
There's no losing.
There's no losing in soccer. No, did they say that? I didn't know that. Really? They said they're going to arrest? Wow.
Yep, they are subject to arrest because they failed. Keep in mind that the only reason they qualified for the World Cup is because they're the host nation.
Mm-hmm.
The host nation automatically qualifies. So they didn't even get there based on merit.
So
they didn't earn it.
So are they not, just to clarify, Eric, so are they not usually in the World Cup? the PIF?
No, they're not.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
They're not.
I didn't know that.
It's like, yeah, I mean, obviously the year Brazil hosted it, that was a gimme because Brazil's always in it.
Mm-hmm.
They try to go to nations that that have the ability to host it and aren't normally in the competition.
Oh, okay.
To gain more of a world exposure.
Okay.
So, but the backlash to that is generally the nations that aren't in it have very, very, very poor human rights issues. Have very poor human rights conditions, such as South Korea, such as this year Qatar. And you're like, oh, okay, so we're sending our American athletes over there. And I guess, to go back, what really upset me about the World Cup is I saw people online upset about the treatment of Brittany Griner, but would turn around and say, I'm watching the World Cup all day today.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Well,
they're both human rights issues.
True.
You can't pick and choose what issue you're gonna die on, essentially.
No, you can.
Either you care about human rights or you don't.
Yeah, but you're putting a broad umbrella over that. What you're doing, you're isolating Brittany Griner, who was detained by Russia, a single individual person, and then what you're saying, because the World Cup was in Qatar, is that where it was?
Saudi Arabia.
Or whatever. The fact is, like, the way they got that was through, like, enslavement or whatever. Like, people died building the stadiums and all that.
They got it through blood money because that's what the PIF is built on.
But what you're saying is you can't watch the people in America who go to play there, they all came back. They didn't get detained and imprisoned.
Thank heavens.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't. And also, what is the World Cup? Once every 4 years? Like, you gotta hit that stride as an athlete where you're in your prime during tryouts. During that, they're not supposed to go and play.
With the athlete.
Are they supposed to not go and play, or we're not supposed to watch, or? I think it's just different subjects.
I personally took a stand that I didn't watch any of the World Cup.
Well, me too, because it's soccer, but
yeah, yeah. But there is, I do think we all have to kind of decide. Like, I don't make any judgments about. Like, I wouldn't make a judgment about someone who said, let me put it this way. My feelings about Brittany Griner. I stuck up for her and whatnot.
Right.
But I wouldn't necessarily make a judgment about people watching the World Cup when it's in Saudi Arabia. Only because I just think that everyone has to kind of decide for themselves. You can't really get through this life without some degree of compartmentalization. And, like we're wrestling fans, but, and I don't like them. I don't like WWE doing those events in Saudi Arabia either. I find that objectionable, but that didn't stop me from going on YouTube and looking up, just because I heard how awful it was. I had to see it. Undertaker versus Goldberg, in Saudi Arabia. I was like, I got to see this. I'm curious. Why is everyone saying it was so terrible? You know what I'm saying?
You can say that about everything in the world.
Really hit way too hard on that. But it's just that what upsets me is this glossing over how evil the PIF is.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to do your own research. Like, organizations that should be talking about how horrible and evil they are not. ESPN has not. Fox Sports has not. Those two have the largest platform, but yet they don't discuss it.
Mm-hmm.
And why? Because they're just accepting, well, we're going to have to do business with them eventually.
Right.
So we're not going to rock the boat. And it's like, okay, but that mentality is why they get away with it.
And now the PIF, and if you're just joining us, that's the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. Are they what is their is that their only purpose, really, buying up these different sporting events, or do they do other things? Because I know very little about the PIF.
Their big thing, the big thing with the PIF is they have billions of dollars funneled into them by the government of Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
And the sheer reason for their being is to bring events into Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
That will put positive eyes on Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's
that is their cause of being.
Okay.
they're trying to
right
promote
there.
Saudi Arabia. Yeah, just like Russia did in the Sochi Olympics, where they put dope in every single athlete to try to get light to Russian dominance. You know, it's like there's committees for these countries. They put a lot of stock in sports, really, because that's what people pay attention to.
They do it for more than sports. They're trying to bring in American events. They're trying to bring in more American performers. This has gotten so far past sports washing.
Mm-hmm.
Because money talks.
It's past sports now. Now we're bringing in. They want to bring in much more than that. They want to bring in major USA performers to come, and they're offering more than they could make for one summer tour for one concert.
Right, like the Backstreet Boys and stuff.
Oh,
well,
they offered them that.
Did they? Yeah.
Yeah, and they haven't really answered it.
Oh, wow. I did not even know that.
Just like Tiger Woods, like I was mentioning earlier, you got to be proud of Tiger Woods for not taking the money. I mean, we're talking $50-60 million they offered him.
Right. You know,
Nike, in as evil of a company as I think Nike is, Nike actually, I will give them full credit. They upped the ante with Tiger Woods. They gave him more stock options. They gave him a raise. I believe they signed him to a lifetime deal.
Oh, wow.
The caveat is that he cannot go to Live Golf.
Oh, the LIV, which is that run by, is the LIV tour and that whole thing, is that literally run by the PIF?
Yes.
Okay.
Greg Norman, who's a former U.S. golfer, Greg Norman is kind of the figurehead of it.
Okay.
He's not an American citizen, though. He's from Australia.
No, he is not. He's Australian.
So he's not loyal like Tiger Woods would have to show some alliance.
Right, and I think I don't ever think it was close to Tiger leaving.
Yeah. And that irks them. Irks them. Like, you got golf, but you don't have Tiger, and that's what they're hearing.
Yeah.
Like, you want golf, if they got Tiger, Phil Nicholson would go, everyone would go. You know what I mean?
Phil Nicholson did go, didn't he?
I think he did go.
Yeah.
Phil went.
Yeah.
Phil went, but Rory McIlroy did not go. And he's another big name. There are big names that are staying with the PGA Tour. And the hope is that they stay and build up the next generation. And so that the PGA Tour has more of an end game in mind than LIV Golf does.
Okay.
Well, when you have stupid money involved, though, like when you're talking, you always see actors take a garbage movie for that $25 million payday.
Sure.
Why wouldn't they? I mean, these people get into this profession because it's a profession, and it just depends what you can get away with and what you're comfortable with. Mm-hmm. I guess once you get there to Saudi Arabia, that's when you decide whether you go back or not,
And that makes sense.
Because you don't really know. You just see the cha-ching in your wife and your...
Right. Yeah, you see your...
mistress and all that stuff.
And your bank account, yeah.
Your other mistress.
Oh, no.
But yeah, the PIF is not going anywhere, unfortunately, and even sadder is they're going to continue their dominant reach.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really hope that there's a company or someone that stands up and says, you know what, enough is enough.
You're right.
I mean, stranger things have happened.
I think in a broader sense, it's challenging, and this isn't justifying or rationalizing anything, but just an observation. I think it's hard for a lot of Americans to even perceive that there's an issue here because Saudi Arabia is a strategic ally in the region. And as much as we disapprove of Saudi Arabia from a human rights standpoint, and of course everyone vividly remembers the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, which we all know MBS was behind that. That's no secret. But I think it's I think it's difficult for a lot of Americans. You know, they look at we have a friendly-ish relationship with the Saudis, and Biden goes over and does the fist bump with MBS, and I think a lot of Americans look at that, you know, and of course everyone knows we get oil from them. That I think a lot of Americans look at that and say, well, what's the problem? How could there be a problem? They're an ally of ours. It's not like it's China, you know, it's Saudi Arabia. So I think that probably, and I think that, you know, these golfers, for example, when they're presented with these opportunities, that's probably how they kind of look at it. Not that I think they're so naive as to think, oh yeah, there's no problem here, but I think they might be sort of assuming that most Americans who aren't paying attention aren't going to have a problem with it because most Americans just know, yeah, Saudi Arabia, that's that Middle Eastern country where we get a lot of oil from, and that's as deep as they ever think about it.
They're not doing research either because they don't want to know.
Right. They don't want to know. Ignorance is bliss, and yeah.
But I'm sure there's some...
And that also makes sense. And the sad thing about this conversation is we're not going to come up with a solution.
Right.
Or an end-all, be-all, that this is how you resolve it. I have long, since LIV Golf started, have been just saddened that this is what's going to happen with American sports. I think the next shoe to drop, unfortunately, I think is going to be NASCAR.
Really?
I think the
Makes
money...
sense.
I think the money will be too much. I think within the next 5 to 7 years, there will be a NASCAR race or a series of them held over in Saudi Arabia.
You got to look at sports that don't have a big season. You know what I mean? Like, you go and do a couple races there, you can kind of like justify it as a racer because you're making like $100,000 if you're a nobody.
Yeah.
Now you get $2 million for that one race because they'll throw, like I said, stupid money. Like money, like, yo, I can't have that. Okay, can't get an Uber. All right, I'll give you $5,000 for an Uber.
Right,
like that kind of stuff. Like they get what they want.
Yeah. Well, also, and now that you mention it too, if they get into a situation where they have an opportunity to bring over some athletes who maybe don't make a lot of money, you know, we're talking about people who don't need the money, like, you know, talking about golf. Like, I mean, I don't follow golf, but I know who Phil Mickelson is. I think I'm saying his name correctly. Yeah. You know, who already has an enormous bank account. But sometimes some athletes, they go and participate. Well, you mentioned Brittany Griner earlier, Eric. You know, she goes and like a lot of athletes in the WNBA, they go to different places and play these games to try to fill in, you know, because they don't make a ton of money. So if the PIF, if there's a point where the PIF has an opportunity to bring over some athletes who maybe aren't making a lot of money and they're able to, and the PIF is able to play them, I mean, you almost, you know, that puts those athletes in a position where, you know, they got to make a choice.
Right. And they have to fill up a race. They can't have 3 people racing a race. They need 40.
Right.
They need 40 golfers. They need 40 cars, you know, so they're going to pay the nobodies.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what they've been living
for.
The
major difference between the golfers and Brittany Griner is and we go back to how this conversation started.
She
TV
broke the
rights.
law.
WNBA does not make a lot out of TV money.
Right.
That's why there is that massive pay disparity between the WNBA and the NBA. Is the TV, the numbers just are not there.
Mm-hmm.
The lowest rated NBA game of the season on a national level still does 4 times what the highest rated WNBA game does.
Yeah.
But they're just as good and they're just as entertaining.
I mean, it is.
I think you're being
but
sarcastic.
I also believe that the WNBA has done some horrible marketing.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
just,
what it is. Not the
well,
product.
it's horrible marketing, and where they have had some of the teams isn't very good. Their first 6 years of existence, they had a team in Houston that dominated.
Right. Trinity basketball
I'm
could
sorry,
beat them.
Houston doesn't seem like a really strong women's sports market to me.
Well, also, if we're really being honest about it, I mean, about 15 years ago or so, didn't Don Imus just kind of ruin women's basketball for everybody?
Don Imus
I don't know if
said
I know what you're saying, the
pretty
Rutgers thing,
heinous
right?
things. Actually, there were studies done that what Don Imus said actually put more eyes on the Final Four that year.
That makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense.
So he didn't ruin it. He brought more eyes to it, although that was not his intention.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, no, I get what you're saying. I mean, he attempted to by his words, and what he said was just reprehensible. Him and his co-host, and everyone forgets what the co-host said, as well as Don Imus. But what the co-host said was just as bad.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. Although I'm glad it happened because he ended up getting tossed off of MSNBC. Had that not happened, we might not have Morning Joe, which I enjoy because that's what replaced Imus ultimately. That's a little bit of a side street, but I'm a big fan of Joe and Mika.
I'm not, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I wouldn't think you were.
Well, mass and
just
independent.
like I'm not going to be attending any Rachel Maddow rallies either.
Yeah, I understand.
But no, I don't think I could listen to Don Imus even being a conservative now if he were still around.
Well,
he really, I think, just said things to be controversial.
Well, that's the part of that story, Eric, that nobody talks about. And this is not to defend. I thought what he said was not okay, but
no, it was not.
But it actually, the one thing that nobody ever really talks about is it was in his contract with CBS Radio that he was supposed to push the envelope and was supposed to be controversial and edgy.
That's what's his name's argument too. The guy who just did the Newtown comments. What's his name? The crazy guy.
Oh, Alex Jones?
Right, that was his argument, that he was told, I have to do this stuff.
Yeah, well,
which makes sense. I guess I believe them, though.
Yeah, I mean,
the producers be like, don't be boring, no one wants boring.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Imus obviously went too far. Again, I don't want anyone to misunderstand. I'm not excusing what he said, but...
You're explaining his defense.
But it was in his contract that, be edgy, be controversial. Howard Stern is killing you in the ratings, all this and that. But he did go too far. And it is pretty baffling that he thought that would be okay to say. I mean, granted, 15 years ago, things weren't as PC as they are now. But even 15 years ago, they were still pretty PC. And it is shocking.
I mean, even 15 years ago, the word he called them was vilified.
Oh, yeah.
They still fired him, though.
They even edited that word out of MTV music videos.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That argument doesn't hold any weight with me. And I recall when I was in college when that happened.
Yeah.
I wrote an article, not necessarily defending Don Imus, but saying, look, if you're going to come at Don Imus for what he said, then you need to come at everybody that says that.
Oh, you're the cancel culture guy.
This was right around this. It happened when Flavor Flav had his dating show.
Oh
Yeah,
God!
Flavor of Love. That's awesome.
Flavor Flav.
Yeah, but my point in that
bad.
is he said that word almost 2, 3, 4 times an episode,
Different.
and no one
Yeah.
cared.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Think
well,
about what
either
you
we
just said,
care
though.
about the word or we don't care about the word.
You could use a million examples for that, but the bottom line is Don Imus had no right saying what he said.
Actually, you know what I just realized though, Don Imus, he probably could have gotten away with it if instead of wearing a cowboy hat every day, he had worn a big clock
I mean,
Or
I
a
doubt
Viking
it.
helmet.
I doubt it.
or a Viking helmet. Yes,
It would have been worse.
you think it would have been worse? Yeah, actually,
it
you're
would have
probably
been patronizing Flavor Flav.
You're probably
He would
right.
have gotten hit with cultural appropriation as well.
That's true.
I mean,
That's
Bill
true.
Maher's lucky to be on the air still. To be honest, like he slipped. Like everyone, kind of. You don't do it,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, he touched a third rail.
Just don't do it.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
I don't know if you have ever seen it,
Don't
but
go there.
when Ice Cube went on his show
Yeah, that was planned though.
and basically told him, like, I don't have an issue with what you said, but you're getting too comfortable.
Yes,
That was so scripted, though. I'm sorry. I watched
think
that.
so?
Yeah, I watched that too. I mean, he came on and he's like, "Yo, you're cool and all, but what you that's," and he said it over and over, and he's like, "Yeah, I know, and I'm sorry for that." It just watch it again, knowing that what I just said.
yeah,
and you'll be like, Ice Cube didn't drop in.
right.
He didn't just come in to give him some words of like knowledge. Like he was booked.
Yeah,
And he's the perfect guy to do it because he's in Are We There Yet? And all that stuff.
yeah.
And it's like, no, I'm going to tell you straight
People
up, Bill,
forget
what
that
you did was
Ice Cube-
wrong. Like,
Yeah.
it was wrong, but Ice Cube was just I mean, that was, I'm sorry, that just made him even weaker as a, I don't know, I didn't think that was done well.
Interesting. I'll have to go back and watch that.
I've never
and Joe
heard that
Rogan did the
take
same
before.
thing. Joe Rogan did the same thing when he got in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Something he said about 11 years ago. The next guest he had were 2 rappers, and they used that word like probably 1,000 times,
Right.
just to kind of like. And Joe Rogan wasn't. He's like, but it's like they watered it down almost for what he did. It was all planned. Like that was planned. The Ice Cube thing was planned, and it was damage control.
You're probably right. Yeah,
I saw right through it.
you're probably right. Well,
Ice Cube's not Ice
Wow.
Cube anymore. I mean, he's not.
oh, I don't
He's
know.
not NWA Ice Cube. He's not.
He,
you know,
he had a new track within the last year or so that I really liked. I can't
He
remember
still
what
He
it was
has a
called.
new one
does
now with
Barbershop
Exhibit,
and Are We
Dre,
There Yet, though?
Snoop.
He still did Are We There Yet? And that's that.
Well, yeah,
That's that.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was.
that's all right. I still respect him.
Of course. But what he did was, that was HBO. Just come on in. Here's $3 million and give him the business.
Yeah. Well, Eric, so we should
Just don't go there, and you don't have to do that stuff.
Well, yeah, that's the smartest thing. That's the smartest thing. We're way past the top of the hour, but Eric, we should kind of try to put a button on. Of course, there's so much we don't know yet about what's going to end up
Right.
happening with this sale and if the Saudis are going to get it, but
I still, my hope is that Comcast or NBC Universal gets it.
yeah,
But
that would be the logical thing.
I'm not going to hold my breath just because of the amount of money Vince stands to make by selling it to the PIF. And when it happens, it will be a very, very sad day.
I read that he's a billionaire now. I read he could have 2 or 3 billion after that sale if it happens.
So here's my question: can you go to what's the best? Can you go to the Hanover Chop House and buy anything different than you can now already? Is there anything he can have by doing this that he can't have now? Like There should be like there's
No.
like a goal someone hits, and after that, you don't need any more. What do you get out of it? There's nothing you can't buy.
This is all ego and
It's-
all bitterness.
and that's
right
what's going
now.
to kill his legacy, though. That's the ironic part about it.
Yeah.
If he did the right thing, people actually might say, "Hey, he wasn't such a piece of crap."
Right.
The right thing would have been staying away.
Yeah, he should have, once he was out, he should have just, I mean, he was never truly out because, of course, he remained the largest shareholder in the company. So, in a sense, he still owned it. But yeah, it would have been better if he had just stayed away. You know, he's 77 years old.
That
You
should
know,
have been the
Exactly.
punishment.
70. What are you
You
doing?
defrauded investors to pay women to cover up for your misdeeds.
yeah,
That is illegal. That is a white-collar felony.
yes,
Welcome to America.
I'm sorry. But
Yeah.
nope. In that documentary, and then, Matt, you can close out. I'm sorry to go way over.
no, that's okay. I enjoy the discussion.
You're
They said-
fired.
They said for Vince McMahon, in his mind, he is above punishment. I believe Brian Alvarez said that,
Yeah,
another wrestling dirt sheet writer. And it was the closing words of the documentary, and it just hits you that, yeah, that's true. Vince McMahon believes he's above any form of punishment or corrective action.
yeah,
Is
The
Hopwood a
worst thing that
dirt
could have
sheet,
happened is him
dirt
beating
sheet
that
writer?
steroid case in the 90s. The worst. Because that led to this. If he would have lost that and been punished, we wouldn't be here right now. Because
true.
his ego would have gotten checked.
yeah. But he
But he
pinned.
beat the U.S. government
He pinned the government in the middle of the ring.
Got him.
clean.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah, one fall.
So yeah, that's, and like I said, Matt, all WWE fans, past or present, are culpable for this.
Ooh.
Because we enabled that behavior when we bought the T-shirts, bought the pay-per-views, watched the TV shows, bought the tickets to the live events, bought the action figures, the video games, the whole shebang.
Are you telling everyone to quit wrestling cold turkey now, Eric? If this happens,
I'm just saying we need to,
quit
as
wrestling,
fans
Eric?
or former fans, we need to hold culpability in that.
Are you gonna quit wrestling cold turkey if this happens?
I actually haven't watched WWE in about 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I stay up to date what's going on because I have
Yeah.
friends and family members that watch.
Yeah.
It's a good way to have conversations with them. But I have not watched an episode of Raw, SmackDown, or a premium event.
Yeah. Jenny and I find things on YouTube to watch. Like we like to keep up with what Bray Wyatt is doing. We're quite fascinated by that.
I find myself watching WrestleMania every year somehow.
Do you? Yeah.
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 It's like, what's going on?
It's a commitment.
But-
It's a long show.
It is.
So it's 2 nights now.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
How would you know? Eric.
Shucks, I've been outed.
We should, Eric, before we let you go, one other thing. Why don't you give a plug for tomorrow's classic film review?
Yes, it's being recorded tonight. Shockingly enough, finding clips for this online is proved very difficult. So I have to record them as I'm watching it.
Oh.
But tomorrow is part 1 of a 2-part review of Metallica, Some Kind of Monster.
Yes. Yes. Looking forward to
So
this
we
one.
will look at the first half of the film tomorrow and the second half next week.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Have you ever seen that, Gonzo? Have you ever watched?
Nah.
It's really good. I always say Metallica's not one of my favorite. I certainly respect them. Not one of my favorite bands, but I've seen Some Kind of Monster twice.
I like James in the Gang.
One of the best, probably the best, honestly, rock documentary I've ever seen. It's really good.
It still
would
is,
like it.
and
Yeah.
I mean, the one about Lemmy Kilmister is very good, and the one about Anvil is amazing, but it
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
top some kind of monster.
Yeah, yeah. Well, very good. Well,
I haven't seen the one about Guar yet, and I don't think I will.
I didn't know there was one about Guar. I know someone who dated the singer from Guar before he passed away.
Dirk Don interviewed him.
Oh, no kidding!
He died.
Really? Yeah, yeah. He died. I forget his name now. He was only. I think he was
Brecky.
David Breck. Yeah, I think he was barely 50. Right? He was. He was like 50 years old, and he.
Drug addiction.
No way.
Accidental overdose.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Well, if you've ever seen Guar, it's not entirely shocking.
No, that was satire, Eric.
Yeah, he's being funny. Gonzo's a funny guy.
Yes, very.
I get
well,
cranky.
guys, I will let you go. I've been on long enough, and sorry that we ran way over on the break.
No, that's okay. No, like I said, I enjoy the discussion. So,
No, it's good.
all right, thank you, Eric.
Later, buddy.
Yep. Bye, guys.
All right, bye-bye. All right, that is Erich Pilcher from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And
He's enthusiastic.
looks like Vince is on the line. He has something to tell
good.
us. Yeah.
Finally. Oh,
Well,
man.
that's very sad.
That wasn't nice to Mike Sutterth.
I come in. What? How dare you? No, he quit. He stopped showing up.
Right.
No, I hope that wasn't directed at me. You know, I show up every day, and I always say, what do I always say, Gonzo? What is my number one goal with
You're
this
just
show?
Trying to make it to tomorrow.
Trying to make it through the 2 hours without getting fired. And I think Vince McMahon just fired me. That's terrible.
Yeah, you're on thin ice, brother.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to show some love to our amazing sponsors, and then we'll be back with the remainder of our program. Don't go anywhere.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Clemento's Pizzeria, family friendly, awesome for a date night. Clemento's Pizzeria.
For delivery, call 603-782-8450.
Clemento's Pizzeria, the best pizza in town.
1875 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Best cocktails around.
Come in as friends and leave as family.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
Everybody, and welcome back as we cruise into our final segment today of Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious, although a bit wintry, downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester, and hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all of our live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, merch, etc., etc. Today is Thursday, January 12, 2023. Welcome, everybody. If you'd like to give us a call, the studio line is open, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text us at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is to give us a call at 603-250-6007. Gonzo is here, but he had to step out for a moment, so he'll be right back. I do want to say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat. Haven't had a chance to do that yet, but Charles Richardson, of course, from the great state of Florida and the Charles Richardson Show, the host of the Charles Richardson Show, says, hello. I'm sorry. Charles said, hashtag hello, Matt Connarton. We say, hope you have a great day. We also say NASCAR sucks. Charles sounds like he's been spending some time in North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina. Tony Petrello joins us. Hello, Tony. Jason Fedderson, also in the Facebook live chat. Jenny, of course, is in the chat room. Charles says, WNBA is great for women's basketball, but they lack a lot of support, which means lack of equal pay. And keep in mind, the WNBA plays a 40-game regular season versus NBA's 82 games. I did not know that, Charles. Thank you. I mean, I knew that they don't have the same support that the NBA does, of course, but I didn't know that they played half as many games. But again, that goes to what I was saying earlier about, someone like Brittany Griner, for example. A lot of these WNBA players, the reason, when somebody says, why would somebody go to Russia to play basketball? That's so dangerous. Well, I agree. No one should be going to Russia for any reason, certainly. But that's part of why something like that happens and why that choice is made, to make some money and try to fill in the gaps in the schedule and in the wallet, frankly, because they don't make the kind of money that NBA players do. Tomorrow, People 5, who is definitely from Greensboro, North Carolina, says, hi, we say to you from us. Scott Robinson joins us and says, I don't know what sucks more, Imus or the WNBA. Well, Imus is dead, so there's that. Charles says, I think Imus really sucked. Imus was, I don't know. There was a point in my life, actually quite a while ago, though, now that I'm thinking about it, when I was kind of into Imus because I liked that, I almost hate to say it, but in some ways, he was probably the closest approximation to something similar to what I do, where you mix politics, but with interviews with musicians and a lot of humor and some other topics that aren't necessarily political or only pseudo-political. And when I started listening to Imus, of course, Imus changed in various ways over the years, but when I started listening to Imus what would have been during the Clinton administration, that's kind of what he was doing. Like, his main thing was politics, but he was doing a lot of other things too, and there was a lot of edgy humor and so forth, and of course, that got kind of played out after a while, but that's what Imus basically was when I first started listening. Tomorrow, People 5 says, good evening, hashtag Jenny Coffee. We say to you from us. And Gonzo is back. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Jason Fedderson says, Imus wears a cowboy hat, doesn't he? Well, not anymore, but yes, he did. He did take to wearing a cowboy hat. It was particularly strange toward the end. You'd see him on television and he'd be in the hat, and like the hat almost, like you almost couldn't see his face at all. He had this big cowboy hat and he was kind of shriveled up, and he probably stuck around a little longer than he needed to in terms of his broadcasting career. And at that point, his mumble was almost entirely indecipherable. Rocky Huber joins us in the Facebook live chat. Hello, Rocky. Tomorrow, People 5 says, we used to watch Flavor of Love on VH1 back in the past. We say that is so true, hashtag Matt Connarton. Yes. Stefan Philbrook joins us in the Facebook live chat. Hi, Stefan. Stefan says, Cube forever, referring to Ice Cube, of course, and then quotes an Ice Cube song. Unfortunately, I cannot repeat that quote on the air. Tomorrow, People 5 says, we are covering some good tunes, hashtag Matt Connarton. We hope you can check out of our Facebook page. Scott Robinson says, did Gonzo bring his keyboard tonight? You don't have your keyboard with you, do you, Gonzo?
No, I didn't bring it. No, I did not bring my keyboard.
It's unfortunate. You're a wizard on that keyboard.
I'm damn good.
Yeah.
Getting better every day. But,
Yes.
But there's one pianist allowed at the station, and I'm not it.
And you're not it. And who is it?
It doesn't matter. It's not me.
It's Rob Dion. Are you? By the way, did you figure out yet? I heard you guys talking about it on the morning show. Are you attending his wedding?
I'll be at his wedding.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
As you should be.
Yeah.
Of course. Not to speak for Rob, but
I earned it.
I think you did.
Yeah.
I think you did. Yes. Tomorrow People 5 says, we used to watch it of wrestling on TV. Scott says, Scott Robinson, funny, I haven't watched any of those either now that the Hulkster is gone. Scott really is wistful for the Hulkster, the days of the Hulkster.
I mean, that was what it was. I mean, back when Macho Man and Hulk looked at Elizabeth wrong. Oh, man, that was great.
That was great. That was great stuff. And that was long-term storytelling, too.
I remember being, like, the first time I can remember being on the edge of my seat. Like, that was my first moment being like, yay, no, Dad, you're not changing the channel.
Yeah.
Like, we're watching Saturday Night Main Event.
Yes. Oh, God, I have all of those on VHS in a storage unit somewhere, I think.
So great.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Crystal joins us in the chat room, our friend from Illinois. She says, but the wrestling fans did not knowingly enable McMahon's behavior to consciously take blame. They supported a sport they liked. They didn't know what was being done behind the scenes. Yeah, true. Absolutely.
Right. You don't have, as a fan, you're not obligated to dig in to how the sausage is made. Just enjoy the sausage.
Yeah, I don't quite agree with Erich on that part. I mean, I think some of what Vince is accused of is really reprehensible, but I don't agree that all of us who support or have supported the WWE, I always have a hard time saying it, the WWE, we're sort of in some way culpable. You know what I mean? I don't
right.
really
Every T-shirt, all
I don't
that
really
stuff.
feel that. Yeah.
I mean, you could literally.
I understand his point, but
right, and you can open up a bar. You can look at every rock and roll band. You can look at a lot of things, and then there's nothing.
Well, it's like I talked. Right. Well, it's like I talked about. That's why we have,
like, for you, for instance.
Yeah.
You're hypnotizing, Paul's, like, your tactics. They're just irrehensible.
My hypnotizing tactics are irrehensible.
But my point is, you know what I mean? You could dig into every coaching staff has a bad egg. It's like, what are you going to do? I mean, people will step on people to get to the top.
Well, like I said, you can't get through this life without some degree of compartmentalization.
Right. Blinders are key.
Ignorance is bliss.
It really is.
But
I don't want to know type of stuff.
But once you know, and then you can't turn a blind eye.
True that.
Yes. Scott Robinson says, just watched that last week. Excellent. I assume he's referring to the Metallica documentary, Some Kind of Monster, that is the subject of Erich's part one of the subject of Erich's film review tomorrow. Tomorrow People 5 says, we love the wrestling ladies, Matt Connarton, and we say hello, hashtag Gonzo. Hi, hashtag Erich, we say to you from us.
Oh,
very nice. These folks from North Carolina, unfailingly polite, very kind.
Right. I mean, it's obnoxious, but it's nice.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
And you really roll with it. You really go for it.
I think it's fun. It drives Hopwood crazy. He hates it.
Which is more fun than anything.
I know. He gets legit, angry.
Which is just the best when that happens.
Oh, Scott Robinson says, let's not forget the Polish Hammer, Ivan Putski. Little before my time. I know who Ivan Putski was, but little before my time.
Now, you have to assume the Iron Sheik would be making a comeback if this were to go down, right?
The Iron Sheik, yeah.
I mean,
he's legit too. He really is Iranian.
Right. Well, I mean, there'd be a younger model, a younger version, but it would become, he'd be champ right away.
Yes. Well, I don't know. He might be a little, he's kind of an older, he's got to be in his 70s now.
The Saudi champion.
He kind of found a second life on the Howard Stern show over the years, his various appearances on Howard.
Yeah, it's good to lose your mind on the radio.
Yes.
It's good for your career.
Michael Albert joins us in the Facebook live chat and says, Rush, Behind the Lighted Stage is a good documentary. I have not seen that, but I've heard it is good. Oh, and Tomorrow People 5 says, true, hashtag Gonzo. We are listening to this, we said. We are polite, hashtag Matt Connarton. We said generous, hashtag Matt Connarton. Yes, they're also very generous in Greensboro.
Generous, hashtag absolutely.
Yes.
You are.
You say to them.
I say to them.
Yes.
And I also say to you, Matt, hashtag.
Oh, I say hashtag thank you, hashtag Gonzo. I say to you from me.
Colon. Semicolon.
Semicolon.
Yeah. Eggplant.
Oh, my goodness. This is getting very confusing.
It is.
Yes. 603-250-6007 if you'd like to get in with a call. 603-250-6007. There was some more secret documents. I'll tell you what, Gonzo, I have not heard so much about secret documents since the time that Stephen Comley Sr. came in and gave me an envelope, a manila envelope filled with secret documents. And, of course, he left an envelope for Peter as well, as I'm sure you know.
Right. And it's still under your bed, right?
So the secret documents that Stephen Comley Sr., former candidate for president, the envelope that he gave me, I do sleep with. It is under my pillow every night. I guard it. Unfortunately, I'm not there to guard it right now, but Jenny is guarding it. The envelope that he gave to Peter White, of course, of the morning show with Peter White, I believe ended up filed in with some other things where no one will ever go looking for it.
So when you're not home, Jenny's obligated to be in bed, right?
No, but
guard the documents.
No, but if someone enters the apartment and begins to move toward the bedroom, she has to leap up and say, "Whoa, you can't go in there. There's secret documents. You're not allowed to have those."
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So she has to protect them.
Yeah, secret documents, huh? I mean,
they keep finding more.
What makes a document secret?
Well, that's an interesting.
And what makes it a document?
It's an interesting question about what makes it secret, because something that, and we won't have time to get into it today, but something that is becoming a little bit of a growing point of discussion is what some say is the overclassification of documents, that a lot of things are classified that don't necessarily need to be classified. And again, this is not, I don't throw that out there as any kind of an excuse or justification or rationalization for, Trump taking everything that he took to Mar-a-Lago or these more now today, they're like gremlins, more documents that have been found in the possession of Joe Biden. They found one with his Corvette in the garage. They found a document. Just bizarre.
A document.
Yeah, I think it was just one, just by itself, that somehow ended up where he stores his Corvette.
Like, shouldn't it have to be folded up in a glove box for it to count?
Well, it's yeah, you get pulled over and you go to get your registration, right, and you accidentally hand the officer a secret document.
Like, it should be
with nuclear codes on it or something.
Should be something shady, like back pocket, folded in four for it to be in a Corvette. What is the secret document in the Corvette? Do you know?
I don't know. I mean, it's secret, but
I mean, couldn't it be like, I don't know, could it be like a note, a love note? Is that a document?
I think only counts if it's a love letter from Kim Jong-un to President Trump.
What if it's a locket of hair in a piece of paper that Biden was keeping in his back pocket because he likes to smell hair?
Right. He may have sniffed someone's hair and then grabbed a lock of it.
And then like a little hotel shampoo bottle.
Uh-huh.
Like, because we know he likes Pert Plus, and that's why he hid in the basement the whole time. So if he smelled Pert Plus, he wouldn't act on it.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So that's a secret too, right? Like,
yeah, that would definitely. Well, so
a coupon, is that secret?
A coupon? You mean if it's like a secret sale?
Or like a coupon for Pert Plus or something.
Oh, right.
I don't know. Like, what makes a document a document? What's a document?
Well, so the government, it's a document that says
we know
secret.
Trump didn't have one document in a Corvette either. Like, that's like Trump's like so happy right now.
Yeah,
like, everyone does it.
Right.
Like, no, he had a coupon. And you had folders and folders and folders.
Well, we don't know that it's a coupon, but these documents are marked top secret, and I do hope that soon we'll find out exactly what they are. But no, but there is a belief that the government does overclassify things. Again, not an excuse, but I have an article that we'll probably get into tomorrow about that. But
if they call it classified, then you shouldn't have it. You should get
correct.
Right.
Correct.
That's pretty cut and dry to me. I don't know.
Yeah, and the overclassification is some say that it's because it's a way of sort of stonewalling the press, because if you do a freedom of information request to the government, they're supposed to give you that information. But if it's top secret or secret at all, classified as such, then they don't have to tell you anything. They can just say, sorry, that's classified. So that's the theory about why there's so much overclassification. Having said that, it is not up to Joe Biden or Donald Trump or whomever else, although Trump will tell you he can declassify things just telepathically with his mind. Doesn't even have to tell anybody. But it's ultimately not really up to them to just decide on a whim, or just, well, I'm going to keep this and I'll just leave it in the Corvette or something. This is really bizarre, and
when you're president,
I'm troubled by it.
When you're president, though, you can kind of fall into that I can do anything trap, though, I bet.
Well, the thing is, though, in Biden's case, he doesn't even have that excuse. I mean, he was not. These are things that he obtained while vice president under Obama, and just never gave them back. And it's
all about Obama again.
It is. Thanks, Obama. And they keep finding these things amongst his personal documents, like
how they find it,
like the ones they went and searched. They searched his home.
That's awful. I'd hate to be president.
Yeah, it's a lot of responsibility. You've got the weight of the world on your shoulders, and
you think you get a little leeway, and then you get two long necks going through your Corvette.
Yeah, it's not like not returning a book to the library. It's a little more serious. So now Garland has appointed a special counsel to investigate, just like for Trump. And I think it's a completely appropriate thing to do. I mean, that does not mean that anything criminal was done here. Apparently, the only way that this is considered criminal is if it was done willfully with intent to conceal these documents from the archive and not give them back.
If it's folded, then he's guilty. Because no one folds anything unless it's meant to be secret.
Right, that's
like
true.
You get a number off a girl or something, you folding that and you put it in your pocket.
Not always, though. You could be folding something because you want to do origami with it.
Never, Matt. It's always secret.
Yeah.
Secret origami.
Probably should be. We have a call. We'll grab this. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
It's Scott Robinson.
Hey, Scott. How you doing?
Hey, Scott.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Gonzo.
What's going on?
Not too much. I just saw a headline. I don't know if this is considered city politics or not, but the ACLU gives city 24 hours to call off January 17th eviction of encampment. Cause process rushed and inadequate. So I'd let you know that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That'll be interesting how this plays out.
Yeah, I mean, we don't do local municipal politics on this show, but that is interesting to know, and I'm curious to learn more about it. So I'll check that out after the show. I appreciate it, Scott.
Yeah, it's on the Inc. link.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out.
I just thought that I'd throw that out there, and
yeah,
things are gonna get crazy here pretty soon.
Yep, no doubt. Never a good
situation. Sing me a song.
Oh my God, what?
After the lovin'?
I'm not ready.
I'll sing
Scott.
you to sleep after the lovin'.
Don't do that to me. I'm not ready.
He's not Scott. You have to understand. He's not a dancing bear. He can't just perform it on command.
I'm in national politic mode.
That's right. Yes.
Oh, I forgot about that mode. All right.
That's right.
Catch me in the morning. I'll talk all about local.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you're on the morning show tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yes, he'll be on the morning show.
All right. You guys take care. Have a good night.
All right, Scott. Appreciate the call. Thank you.
Sing me a song, Scott. What?
Did you hear?
I'm not ready.
Did you hear my show yesterday? Someone called this gentleman named Jay, and I actually know his last name. It turns out it's somebody I know because I'm Facebook friends with him. I saw his name on the caller ID, and I was like, this name is familiar to me, but I can't quite place him. Turns out we're Facebook friends, but this gentleman, Jay, called. And he was nice and everything, but he's like, yeah, I've been checking out your show, just bits and pieces, but I'm looking for something new to listen to really commit to listening every day. Can you, sell me on your show. Tell me why I should be a fan of your show.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I'm just like, Dude, I don't do that.
Yeah, you're not ready. You're not ready for that question either. Like,
Well,
you're not my boss, number
Yeah,
one.
it was a little weird, and I think he meant well. I don't think he was trolling. He seems like a genuinely nice guy. I think he meant well. So Jay, if you're listening, I'm not trying to dump on you, and I appreciate that you listen to the show. I really do, and I appreciated the call. It was, but it was a little awkward. It's like I'm not auditioning. I'll have been here for 6 years in April. You know, you either like the show or you don't.
Right. And the main thing is it's on. So
yeah.
That's all you need to know. It's on. So either, and it comes in very clear in Manchester.
So I asked him if he liked the show, and he said bits and pieces or something. I was like, okay, well, I hope you find more bits and pieces that you like, but I'm not gonna give you a sales pitch for why you should listen to my show. That's a little odd.
Bring back Set Earth.
That would have been a total. That would have been a real beta move on my part too if I had done that. If I had said, "Oh, okay, well, I think you should listen to my," you know what I mean?
Or if you had an argument ready to go, you'd pull it out of your drawer.
Oh, that would have been awful.
Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it. Either you like it or you don't.
Yeah, like I'm not here to. I'm not going to give you my elevator pitch for my radio show. Either you listen or you don't. I mean, it's like
right.
It was a weird moment.
Unless you rate a sponsor, then it will give you a couple bullet points.
Then that's different. If there's business, I'm always happy to talk business. But those conversations have to happen off air.
Of course.
In fact, I'll be talking business with someone at about 6:30 tonight on the phone. So
right, and that's none of your business, Jay.
That's right, Jay. No, Jay, I appreciate the call if you're listening, and I appreciate you listening. But
he's listening.
Yeah, he might be. I don't know how I know him, but we are Facebook friends. But of course, I have thousands of Facebook friends I've never actually met.
Sometimes when people don't like your show, they still listen. So it's like whatever.
Well, yeah, there is such a thing as hate listening.
So you can, when you do art, you're trying to invoke an emotion. They don't say what emotion you're trying to invoke.
Right.
You're trying to put art out, and if it makes someone feel a certain way, then you're doing your job.
Has anyone ever said to you, so sell me on your art? Tell me why I should like your art.
Oh, yeah, they have. Yeah.
For real? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. Actually, why should you, when you go and, you put your hat into the ring for a mural or something.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
You have to do a sketch or you got to pitch it.
Right.
Which is never what the end result ends up being. So it's pointless anyway.
That's a little different though. But I assume you've never been at a situation where your art is displayed and someone walks up to you and says, "Tell me why I should like this painting."
Yeah. They or what they'll do is they'll come up with something and be like, "That's so and so, and that's because of that, right?" And you're just like, "Yeah, of course."
Yeah.
$2,000.
Oh, by the way, Scott in the chat room said, Scott Robinson, who called a minute ago, he was talking about, in the chat, he was talking about Biden, what you said about the Prel. Was it Prel?
Pert Plus.
Oh, Pert Plus. He said, now that's out of line, Gonzo. P.S. I would love to smell Gonzo's hair. He was too shy to say it on the phone, I guess, but he said it in the chat room.
Yeah, you'd never guess my shampoo. It's very obscure.
Really?
Most guys, when they're in a relationship or married, whatever, they kind of just put whatever's in the shower in their hair.
Mm-hmm.
They let the woman do the picking, and then you just kind of grab it and scrub away. I don't really get a say in the shampoo or the conditioner. I just use it.
Right.
In fact, I don't really pick any of the toiletries.
Well, the bigger question
is... My deodorant is hurt. I use women's deodorant, too.
But would
There's a little secret.
But would you... Oh, secret.
See what I did?
Yeah. But would you let Scott sniff your hair?
Sure, why not?
What about President Biden? Would you let him sniff your hair?
I'd let him, but not my daughter's hair.
Right.
I mean, it's just, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Just stop. Stop smelling hair, Biden.
Well, he did stop. He broke himself of that.
I have to think he's doing it still.
You think he's secretly smelling hair?
Matt, come on, man. Like a White House staff member, they're getting their hair smelled. I mean, someone's getting their hair smelled.
I think we'd hear about it. I think there would be a scandal. I think it would leak out. But I do imagine he probably does look longingly at some of the White House staffers.
An addict is an addict.
And think, oh, I'd love to sniff that hair.
When you have a problem, you never be done with it. You have to think about it. He loves to smell hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's so much hair around him now.
That's true.
He's president.
That's true. He probably has more access to hair than at any point in his life.
They probably, yeah. I mean, look at his campaign. He did nothing. He didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. He didn't get to smell much hair.
Right.
Now he's probably he's got this cavalcade of hair all around him.
It's probably what the document, I guarantee the document has something to do with hair.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And it has hair in it. I know for a fact there's hair in that. There's a locket of hair in that document.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Why it's folded up?
Yeah.
Trump at least doesn't even wear his own hair. So it's like, it's give and take, you know. This next election is going to come down to hair.
Biden doesn't wear his own hair.
Mark my words.
Those are hair plugs.
This next election will become down to hair.
You think so? You think so? Oh, boy.
And Trump will say that Biden smells hair. And he will offer him an opportunity to smell his hair. During a debate, Trump will walk over, put his hair down, and tempt him into doing it. And he'll take the bait. I'm telling you, Biden will smell Trump's hair during a debate this coming up election.
Jason Federson agrees. He says Biden smells Trump's hair. Well, we'll see. We'll see. All right, we got to go. We're out of time. Gonzo, you are on the morning show tomorrow, correct?
Smells like a perm, I bet.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm on the morning show. We'll be doing Love Advice, Steve Light, Kyle and I on the couch, and, Juno on the desk, and, Peter at the Realm.
Very nice. Very nice. Be sure to tune in to the morning show, 7 to 9 a.m. with Peter White. Gonzo will be there. And
Don't be late, Kyle.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Don't be late, Kyle.
I heard about what happens.
Yeah.
All right, and if you missed any part of today's show, it'll be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org and at my website, MattConnarton.com. Thank you again for Erich Pilcher for joining us today. And don't forget Erich's classic film review tomorrow.
You're welcome, Matt.
It's getting there. All right, we got to go. Talk to y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.
Ignore that we leave out the facts.